Today I'm going to show you how to use Google Classroom. So if you can see at the screen, it's already on the website Google Classroom. When I get to this page, I'm going to first click on the plus sign in the top corner. And since I'm going to be creating this class, I'm going to click Create Class. Now I can use this for my students. I can use this for professional development with my colleagues. There's different reasons that you would create a different class. So I'm going to click Accept and Continue. And now I want to create my class name. So we are going to call this class name Google Classroom Instruction. Okay, I can fill it in. Maybe this is my first period. Maybe this is my 8th period for section. Subject, I'm going to call it Professional Development. And it does give you a drop down if you want to select it. I'm just going to leave it as is. You can leave these other ones blank or you can fill them in. Either way is fine. I'm going to click Create. And now it's going to take me to a new window once it loads. Looks like it's going a little slower today. All right, here we go. So you're gonna see a couple pop-ups when you join in. The first thing right here that it's pointing out is your class code. Now this is how your students or your colleagues would actually join your class. You could invite them through email, but this is a way that you can project it on your screen by clicking the box here, and it will make it big and they can join in. Using that same plus sign that we saw on the first page when we joined into Google Classroom itself. Now, on this page here, this is your stream. You can edit, you can change things around, you can change the background, you can add photos, but basically this is where all of the information that you post is all going to appear in one page. It's kind of similar to how you would see a stream on social media. Now, over here, if you have created assignments, you would see the due dates that you created. You can also look up here at the top. There are different tabs, so we're going to explore some of those tabs. Also in the middle here, it says share something with your class. Now this is typically like an announcement. Whatever you post here, so let's say I click here, again my pop-up shows up, and I want to say to the class, hello everyone, thanks for joining. Now when I select here, I can either send it to all students. Once I have other students enrolled, I can actually hand select the students that I want it to go to if I don't want it to go to everyone. I also have the option of adding an attachment. So I can add anything from Google Drive. I can send a link to a website, a file from my computer, or even a YouTube video. So let's just go ahead and look over here. Now I can post it right away, or I can even schedule it. So if I click schedule, I might want it to go out tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I might want it to wait until Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Okay, so you have the ability to schedule when you want it to actually send out. But let's just, for the sake of things, just post it right now. And when I post it, not only does it appear in the stream, it also would be sent in an email to all of your enrolled students. Now, there are ways that the students can turn that email off, the automatic subscription, but I like having that setting so that way they know to check Google Classroom. Now, let's say I made a typo or a spelling error. It does have these 3 dots here. I can go back and edit it if I need. So just knowing that option is there is always nice. Now let's go ahead and explore some of the other tabs. So if I click here where it says classwork, this is where I can add files, add material, or add specific assignments to Google Classroom. So I'm going to click this button that says create. And I have a couple different options here. So I want to create an assignment for my students. Okay, so this is the first assignment, and I'm going to title it How to Use Google Classroom. And from here, I can type my instructions, or I could add a file, and I can add something that I've pre-made from Google Classroom. I could really post anything here, okay? So from here, I'm going to write an assignment, and I'm going to say, please explore Google Classroom and click turn in once you have seen this assignment. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, when the students actually open up the assignment, they will get a box or a button where they can click submit or turn in. So this is just a little practice just to get them used to how everything works. One other thing they can do is create something from the assignment itself. So it can create a doc, it can create a slide, they have different options. So if they're going to write an essay, it automatically would be tagged to this assignment. So I would have access to see it, they would have it right in their Google Classroom, and it would organize everything for them. Now the next part over here is I can actually change who I'm assigning this to. So if I have multiple classes, I can actually post this assignment to multiple classes. Now it's not giving me that option right now just because I only have one class set up in this account. I also, again, can select which specific students receive this assignment. Again, if I had more students enrolled in the class, you would see their names drop down here. I can change the value of the assignment. I can change how many points it's worth. So let's just leave it at 100 for right now. I could also select a due date. So let's put a due date for 1 week from tomorrow. And I'm also going to select a time. Let's have it due at 9 o'clock a.m. So now when I click out of there, I see my due date. And I also want to create a topic. This is going to help us organize our assignments and our materials later. So when I click create topic, let's label this introduction. Okay. Now I do have the option to create a rubric on how I'm going to grade the assignment, but we'll get into that later. So again, at the top here, you'll see the drop-down menu. I do have the option to schedule it for later. I could save it and work on it again later also, but I'm going to click Assign. So now that we've clicked Assign, you'll see it popped up in this Classwork tab, and you'll see how to use Google Classroom. When I click on it, you'll see the instructions that I wrote. It will also tell you if students have worked on it, how many students are enrolled in the class. I can also go to the assignment to view it, and I could see their documents that they created, or just go back to my instructions. Now again, if I have a typo or I made an error, if I click on the dots over here, I can go back and edit. So now let's go back to my classroom. I clicked on Google Classroom instruction in the top left corner, and it's taken me automatically back to my stream. So now in my stream, you can see the announcement that I posted initially, and you can also see the new assignment that I posted. Everything adds up on your stream with the newest material or newest item on top. So let's go back to classwork, and I'm going to show you another option. So this time, let's say I don't want to add an assignment. Instead, I want to ask the students a question. So I clicked on the word question, and let's ask this question. How often have you used Google Classroom? Okay. The students could either answer in a short answer or multiple choice. So let's click on multiple choice, and I can give the students options. I can say never, once, or many times. Okay. Again, in each of the posts here, I can always add anything from Google Drive, from a link, a file. I could also create an additional document or slide to go along with it. For this one, let's make this an ungraded assignment. So over on the right, again, I have the options to send it to other classes. I can do specific students. I can grade it. I'm going to make this one ungraded, just a poll, just to find out what my students know. I'm not going to set a due date this time around, but I am going to put it in my same topic that I created before, introduction, so that way it all stays organized. The last part here is students can see class summary. Once they've answered the question, it will show a graph of the results from the class, so they either could see that or not see it. We'll leave it checked. So over in the top right, this time, again, you still have the option to schedule it, to save it, but we're just going to click Ask. So now in my classwork tab, I now have 2 items posted here. If I go back to my stream, again, you can see all of the items posted in the order that I did it, well, reverse order. Finally, the last item I want to show you on here is the People page. So this is where you would see any students that you have enrolled, and you also have an option to invite them. So before we showed you the code, the class code that the students can use, that's the same one that's right here. Or I can click Invite Students, and in your Gmail account with your school, when you start typing in a name, it should automatically pop up. Now this is a little bit tedious. It definitely is easier if you're sharing with a full class just to broadcast the code on the board, but anytime you have a new student come in, this is an easy way to make sure they're automatically enrolled. Now, one other feature that Google Classroom has is adding co-teachers. So if I have an instructional aide in my classroom, or I have an intervention specialist in my classroom, I also can add the other teachers and invite them the same way I'd invite the students. Now, if I invite them this way, they also will have access to all the files. They also would be able to create their own posts as well. So they would be able to interact just the same way I can. So that's just an extra feature that they have here.